Hello there, welcome to Bizworld. The Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, MIER, has forecast Malaysia's 2019 gross domestic product, GDP, to post a moderate growth of 4.5% compared with 4.7% last year. Its executive director, Professor Zakaria Abdul Rashid, said this is due to the slowdown in the global as well as domestic demand. He said the International Monetary Fund, IMF, projected the world's economy to grow at 3.3% in 2019, in contrast to 3.6% last year. MIER also expects the price of crude palm oil, CPO, to touch 2,700 ringgit a tonne this year, as compared with last year's average price of 2,232 ringgit a tonne, in view of the increase in demand for biodiesel and a weaker ringgit. Meanwhile, crude oil prices are expected to touch the mid-70s US dollars per barrel in the first half of this year, before falling back into the upper 60s US dollars per barrel in the second half of 2019. The trade issue between Malaysia and the European Union EU over palm oil will not affect other forms of export to the EU. Chief Executive Officer of Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, Martrade, Datuk Wan Latif Wan Musa, said electrical and electronics E&E export have remained steady. The only export that is affected is palm oil, and other sectors have not shown any negative effect.
Malaysia's export of E&E products in 2018, our total export amounted to RM 380.8 billion ringgit, which accounted for 38.1% of Malaysia's total export. In fact, electronic products represented 45.6% share of Malaysia's merchandise exports.
He said this at the press conference on the upcoming International Sourcing Programme INSP at Semicon Southeast Asia 2019 this May. He added the Malaysia E&E sector, mainly as the region's top player, is expected to rise at a steady pace despite the global slowdown with the adoption of smart manufacturing and Industry 4.0. The industry is expected to generate an additional gross national income impact of 53.5 billion ringgit and create 157,000 new jobs by next year. Accounting firms in Malaysia, which are 78% made up of smaller accounting firms, are encouraged to consolidate to further strengthen the accounting fraternity in the country. Deputy Economic Affairs Minister Muhammad Radzi Muhammad Jidin also urged smaller accountancy firms to have specialization and focus on niche areas to enable their fees to be on par with the big firms in providing quality services.
Tahu bila firma ini terlalu kecil, tidak ada skala ekonomi atau economies of scale. Ya, bila tak ada skala ekonomi atau economies of scale, the cost untuk memberikan perkhidmatan itu, perkhidmatan perekonomian itu akan tinggi. Bila kos ini tinggi, maka sekali lagi marginnya mengecil. Bila margin yang mengecil, dan ia akan memberi kesan pada kualiti. The cycle ini nak perlu dipecahkan, perlu di break the cycle ini.
For there to be consolidation, there needs to be certain incentives. So, as mentioned in Simon's presentation, we are requesting the government to provide incentives, especially tax incentives, for firms to come together and merge. Because it is very difficult for firms on their own, of their own accord, without incentives, to have this discussion on mergers.
The Deputy Economic Affairs Minister also said accounting firms in Malaysia should also adopt technology to replace low-value work within the accounting framework. As of March 2019, 2,031 firms have individual ownership out of the total 2,610 accounting firms in the country. Prasarana Malaysia Berhad Prasarana has partnered with tech-enabled express logistics company Ninja Van to place 86 parcel lockers at every Rapid KL Light Rail Transit LRT station between Gombak and Puchong. Prasarana Group Chief Operating Officer, Strategy and Transformation Ang Yok Ki said the locker, also known as the Ninja Box, will provide a convenient and safe alternative for millions of commuters to pick up and drop off their parcels.
Prasarana is we own, we are an infrastructure company and we operate that, so we own a huge number of assets, and we have the readily available asset in terms of network coverage. And Ninja Van is one of the leading players, if not the most leading player in the logistic world from the sense of in the e-commerce space.
He added this alternative is also aimed at decreasing the number of missed parcels and increase successful delivery attempts. He was met after the launching ceremony of the partnership between the two companies earlier today. And that's all for Bizworld this time around. I'm Brandon Wong. Thank you for investing your time with us.